There is a secret in the whiskey business called the angel's share. When you put raw spirit into a charred oak barrel and let it sit for a decade, a portion of the liquid naturally evaporates through the wood. It vanishes into the air. You sacrifice a part of what you've built, trusting that what remains inside the barrel will be complex, rich, and priceless. Aging a masterpiece requires absolute patience. I spent my life mastering that patience. I just didn't realize that while I was waiting for my masterpiece to mature, my wife was looking for a quick payout. My name is Elias. I'm 39 years old, and I am a master distiller in Kentucky. 5 years ago, I married Victoria. Victoria was a high-end hospitality PR executive. She loved the glamorous side of the food and beverage industry, the Michelin star dinners, the cocktail parties, the VIP lists. But she hated the reality of my side of the business. She hated the smell of fermented mash, the dirt, and the long hours I spent in the rickhouse. Before I met Victoria, I had laid down a single, highly experimental barrel of bourbon. I used a proprietary heirloom grain and a custom yeast strain. I monitored that specific barrel for 15 years. It was the absolute pinnacle of my career. Connoisseurs who had tasted early samples appraised the potential yield of that single barrel, roughly 200 bottles, at over $250,000. It was my retirement fund. I told Victoria it was our nest egg, but Victoria didn't want to wait for the egg to hatch. She wanted to steal the golden goose.
The shift happened when Victoria's PR firm signed a new client, a guy named Sterling. Sterling was a 45-year-old nightlife mogul who owned a string of ultra-expensive steakhouses. He wore velvet blazers, drove a massive imported SUV, and treated everyone like they were his personal staff. He wanted to launch his own ultra-premium luxury whiskey brand to sell exclusively at his restaurants. Suddenly, Victoria and Sterling were spending all their time together doing brand research. The red flags started popping like corks. First, the profound disrespect. Victoria started actively mocking my lifestyle. "Elias, you're basically a farmer," she laughed one night while opening a bottle of expensive wine Sterling had given her. "Sterling is a visionary. He builds empires. You just wait for wood to rot." Second, the sudden curiosity about my private rickhouse. For years, Victoria refused to step foot in my aging facility. Suddenly, she was asking highly specific logistical questions. "Elias, how heavy is a full barrel? Do you have security cameras out there? How exactly do you transfer the liquid into bottles?" Third, the locked schedule. She started taking weekend trips to the city, claiming she was organizing Sterling's big brand launch party. But when I checked our shared bank account, I saw massive charges for boutique hotel rooms that her PR firm definitely wasn't paying for. I know how to identify a bad batch. I decided it was time to sample the truth.
Because aging whiskey requires perfect climate control, I have smart thermometers and hygrometers installed all over my rickhouse. They sync to an app on my phone, and they have built-in acoustic sensors to alert me if a window breaks or an animal gets inside. One Saturday afternoon, while I was supposedly out buying supplies, the acoustic alarm pinged my phone. I opened the app and accessed the live audio feed. I heard 2 sets of footsteps echoing on the wooden floorboards. It was Victoria and Sterling. They weren't just having an affair in my sanctuary, they were plotting a $250,000 heist. Sterling's arrogant voice echoed through the microphone. "Is this the one? It's heavy. Are you sure it's worth $250,000? Victoria replied, "It's the holy grail, babe. Critics have been begging him for it. Here is the plan. When Elias leaves for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival next weekend, I'll disable the gate code. You bring your delivery truck, we roll the barrel up the ramp, take it to your bottling facility and slap your luxury brand label on it. You sell it at the launch party for $1,500 a bottle." Sterling laughed. "What do you tell the farmer?" "I'll smash the side window and tell him local teenagers broke in and stole it," she said coldly. "He files a claim with his insurance and I file the divorce papers the very next day. We take the cash from your launch and we disappear to Miami. He'll never see a dime." I sat in my truck staring at the dashboard. My wife was sleeping with a fraud, and together they were planning to steal 15 years of my hard work, commit federal insurance fraud, and launch a fake brand using my masterpiece. They thought I was just a simple farmer. They didn't understand the chemistry of revenge.
If someone tries to steal your masterpiece, you don't call the police to protect the canvas. You just swap the paint for poison. I didn't yell. I didn't confront her. If I did, Sterling would just deny everything, and Victoria would try to claim half the barrel's value in a messy divorce.
I needed them to steal the barrel. I needed Sterling to proudly present it to the world as his own creation. That night, while Victoria was asleep, I went out to the rickhouse. I carefully uncorked my prized 15-year-old barrel. Using a sterile siphon, I pumped all 50 gallons of the priceless amber liquid into dozens of glass carboys. I loaded the glass carboys into my truck and hid them safely in a climate-controlled storage unit across town. Then, I went to the cheapest liquor store I could find. I bought 50 gallons of plastic jug bottom-shelf whiskey, the kind that costs $10 a gallon and tastes like burning plastic. I poured it all into my empty original oak barrel. But I wanted to make absolutely sure Sterling's launch party was a disaster, so I added a few secret ingredients. I poured in 2 full bottles of concentrated liquid smoke, a gallon of bitter artichoke liqueur, and a heavy splash of white vinegar. I stirred the foul, ungodly mixture, hammered the wooden bung perfectly back into place, and sealed it with wax. The barrel looked heavy, authentic, and completely untouched. It was a 50-gallon bomb, and they were about to light the fuse. I packed my bags for the Bourbon Festival. I kissed Victoria goodbye, acting completely oblivious. "Have a safe trip, Elias," she smiled. "I'll make sure the house is secure." "I know you will," I replied. I didn't go to the festival. I drove straight to my lawyer's office. In the United States, stealing alcohol is a local crime, but stealing 50 gallons of high-proof spirits, bottling it without a federal license, slapping a fake label on it, and trying to sell it across state lines, that falls under the jurisdiction of the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, TTB, and the ATF. It is a massive federal felony. My lawyer contacted a federal agent. We provided the audio recordings of Victoria and Sterling explicitly planning to steal the barrel, evade taxes, and commit insurance fraud. The federal agents didn't want to stop the theft. They wanted to catch Sterling in the act of illegally selling the untaxed stolen liquor at his highly publicized launch party. Through my hidden cameras, I watched Sterling and Victoria roll my heavy, booby-trapped barrel into the back of a delivery truck. They drove away, thinking they had just pulled off the heist of the century.
Sterling's ultra-premium brand launch took place at his flagship steakhouse in the city. He invited 100 wealthy investors, local celebrities, and most importantly, elite whiskey critics. I wasn't there, but the police reports and the reviews published the next day painted a beautiful, hilarious picture. Sterling stood on the stage, the newly bottled, custom-labeled bottles of my whiskey stacked behind him. Victoria was standing proudly by his side, ready for her new life as a millionaire's wife. "Ladies and gentlemen," Sterling announced, holding up a crystal Glencairn glass, "I present to you the pinnacle of luxury, a 15-year aged masterpiece, exclusively curated by me. Let the tasting begin." Waiters handed out glasses to the elite critics and investors in the front row. Sterling raised his glass. Cheers. He took a massive gulp. The critics took a sip. The instantaneous reaction. Sterling violently gagged, spitting the liquid directly onto his velvet blazer. The elite critics started coughing, clutching their throats. One investor literally knocked over a table, running to the bathroom to vomit. The room smelled like a burning tire factory soaked in vinegar. "What the hell is this?" a prominent critic screamed, wiping his tongue with a napkin. "This tastes like battery acid and liquid smoke. You are charging $1,500 for this poison?" Sterling was completely panicked, coughing and staring at the glass in horror. Victoria looked like she was going to faint. Before Sterling could even stammer out an apology, the heavy oak doors of the restaurant swung open. 5 federal agents wearing TTB windbreakers marched into the room, followed by local police. "Sterling, last name," the lead agent yelled over the chaos. "You are under arrest for the illegal bottling and distribution of untaxed spirits and the possession of stolen property." The fallout was the most satisfying thing I have ever witnessed. Sterling's reputation in the hospitality industry was instantly vaporized. The critics destroyed him in the press, calling his launch the biggest fraud in the history of the city.
Because he had actively tried to sell stolen, untaxed liquor, the federal government seized his business licenses. His investors sued him into absolute oblivion. He was facing years in federal prison. When the police questioned Sterling, he immediately cracked and threw Victoria under the bus, claiming she was the mastermind who told him it was good whiskey. Victoria was arrested for grand larceny and conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. She called me from the county jail, completely hysterical. "Elias, the whiskey was poison. We've been arrested. You have to tell them it's your barrel. Tell them it was a mistake." "It wasn't a mistake, Victoria," I said calmly, swirling a glass of my real, pristine 15-year bourbon. "I heard your plan on the audio logs. I swapped the liquid. You got exactly what you deserve. My lawyer will send the divorce papers to your cell block." During the divorce, she had absolutely no defense. Because she was a convicted felon who conspired to steal a marital asset, the judge awarded me 100% of our property, my business, and denied her any alimony. She walked away with a felony record and the taste of vinegar permanently in her mouth.
It's been almost 3 years since that tasting party. A few months after the dust settled, I legally bottled the real 15-year bourbon. Because of the insane, viral stories surrounding the heist and the fake barrel, the demand was astronomical. I sold all 200 bottles to legitimate collectors for $2,500 each. I used the $500,000 to buy my own commercial distillery, and I am thriving. Last I heard, Victoria avoided prison by taking a plea deal, but her PR career is dead. Nobody wants to hire a publicist known for poisoning high society investors. She currently works the overnight shift at a budget motel, a million miles away from the glamorous life she tried to steal. If there is a lesson to be learned here, it's this: you cannot fake a masterpiece. True quality takes time, patience, and character. If your partner thinks they can steal the fruits of your labor and pass them off as their own, don't argue with them. Let them steal the barrel. Just make sure you take the good stuff out first and let them proudly serve garbage to everyone they know. Thanks for listening to my story. If you enjoyed this one, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments, what's the worst meal or drink you've ever been served at a fancy place? Stay patient and always guard your best work.